Studios, your Master Lee.
And Lulu.
All right, life here in Vegas continues to be a one hell of a circus.
Circus.
That's right. And hey, if you're thinking about coming to Vegas and you got family, you got kids, or if you're not too privy with the, adult side, we got a place for you, Circus Circus. And it's one of these old school casinos that I'm shocked that it's still around because it's borderline just old at this point. But there's a lot of people who really love it. I'm going to give you 7 reasons why we love Circus Circus and why you should go check it out. So first off, Circus Circus is one of the last few old school casinos that exist today. They're going down fast. Either they're being completely renovated.
Yeah.
Flamingo, right?
Right.
Old school feel from the outside, but you go inside, a lot of it has changed. Circus Circus still has a lot of elements to it that feel very old school. Like when you're coming in and they have those little bulb lights and the neon signs, it still looks like if you go to watch one of those videos from the 70s or like when Elvis used to perform.
That's
it still
Vegas.
Looks like that. Yeah, that old school Vegas. It's just something just really charming about it. It just feels magical. So you roll up into that Circus Circus, you still get that feel today.
That's right.
And the second thing that we love about this, which actually goes into the third thing and the fourth thing, is that it is family friendly. And because of that, they deliberately have things in this casino that is great for family entertainment, especially kids.
That's right. You don't have to go out.
You don't have to go out. It's probably even better that you don't go out because
with the kids.
You take the kids walking along the strip, you will run into a lot of things that maybe you aren't quite ready to have to explain to them around. You know what I'm saying? They have a lot of more adult fare out on the street. They sometimes pass those cards to the strip clubs to you and as you walk on by, and it's like little nudie cards. And yeah, you don't want your kids subjected to that. So you stay inside of Circus Circus, it feels safe. And you get so much to do that you can literally spend a whole week inside. One of the reasons why is because they have an amazing arcade.
That's
Probably one of the biggest
right.
arcades in the nation even. A whole floor dedicated to it. Now it's not free, you got to pay for it, but they have just a lot of amazing games. And the beautiful part about it, because it's on its own floor in its own area, you could quite literally just give your kid a $20 bill, just say you go play there, stay on that floor, right? And you could just go down below and gamble. So they can play and you can play. I have to say the arcade is actually pretty good. And I used to work in the gaming industry.
Right.
I have higher standards. I expect more from my arcade. You sometimes walk in these arcades and there's a lot of broken machines or a game that no one plays anymore. There's a lot of shooters now because they can steal your quarters. But this one has a lot of it's a mix. A lot of old school stuff, some newer machines. I think I maybe ran into 1 or 2 that were broken, but for the most part, everything worked really well.
Yeah.
Yeah, great place. A lot of fun. It's just real festive.
Yeah, I like the one that the festival where you throw.
That's right.
Yeah.
And that's the third thing that's awesome about Circus Circus. They have circus games in there. You can basically call it a gambling for kids, right? These games of chance that are served up in a fun form. So all along the ring that you walk around it's basically like an indoor carnival. And you can win tickets. You can win stuffed teddy bears. It's just so much fun, and it's a great place to be because indoors, AC. You know what I'm saying? But it's also in that same area, so kids can walk around that full loop and just play these kind of games. It's a good way to teach them how to gamble, lose the money very early. Money management 101.
Oh God.
But that's not even it. There's even
There's
more.
more?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Right? When it comes to family entertainment, the fourth thing that is amazing about Circus Circus is the fact that they have an indoor amusement park.
Yes, they
I'm
do.
not even talking about a one ride like bumper cars.
Right.
I'm talking about it's about 5 acres indoors of a roller coaster.
It's insane.
It's many, many rides. It's the kind of thing that you could easily spend a whole day there doing. If the arcade games were just, how would you say, doesn't give you enough of adrenaline rush, the amusement park will. Yeah, and it's beautiful inside too.
Yeah.
Because it's a huge dome.
Yes.
And I always wonder from the outside as you're looking in, going to circus, what's that giant dome for? not for events. It is
The amusement
park. Yeah. So it's worth checking out. I think in another year or so, apparently it's being updated. So there's going to be new rides there. It's going to feel fresher. I don't know what that means.
Why? Do they smell like pee?
I guess if you look around, it looks perhaps it could use a little bit of updating. The thing is like with Vegas is because it gets so much foot traffic, even something in a 5-year time frame can start to feel a little worn. You know what I'm saying? So I guess you could say that the Adventure Dome, maybe it feels a little worn now, that maybe a couple of rides are worth replacing. There's also newer technology, so maybe there's things that they could do now to make like rides more exciting. Willing to bet there's going to be some like VR kind of ride, right? Because you don't need a lot of space for that. Put on a helmet, and then you're riding around and it feels real type of thing. So worth checking out. Oh, by the way, it does cost more money, but it's very reasonably priced. The most amazing thing about this, which is my next thing about like why we love Circus Circus, is that it's on the Strip. The fact that you get this kind of entertainment, like roller coaster rides, and a huge arcade, right? It's all on the Strip. This is not something you have to go like far off in the distance to drive to be able to get this entertainment. Which means that if you want to be able to go and check out these other hotels, very convenient. Any hotel that's on a Strip just makes it that much more convenient. Although Circus Circus is on the northern end of it, which is a little bit of a walk. Like if you want to walk all the way down to where MGM is, which is closer to the south side,
that's far.
To see all those things, it's a good couple mile walk, and you just got to be careful because Vegas sun, a couple mile walk outside, you might not make it back home. Vultures might get you. It's hot. Now I'm not going to get into bunch of other things that you get with the hotel, because like you get a pool, right, and it's got the typical like great restaurants and stuff like that. And one of the things that could be a real plus or negative from people, because I hear it all the time, which is, man, these rooms are cheap. There's a reason why they're cheap. Because it is borderline at this point, going from old school to just old. It could definitely use a refresh. But all those amenities that I just mentioned to you, plus it's on the Strip, to be able to get a room for sometimes like $30 a night, minus resort fees, that's insane. The final reason why we love Circus Circus, why I think it's just like one of those amazing hotels on the Strip, is because you get a free circus show.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
And it's a really good show. I don't think a lot of people even realize this is one of the best freebies in Las Vegas. I oftentimes forget it too, because friends of ours come to town all the time.
Yes.
And where do we take them? It's like Bellagio Flowers. Check it out.
Caesar's Palace.
That's right, Caesar's Palace. They had that free, show inside the Atlantis. A lot of people know about that one. And then a Mirage with the volcano, which is going away. Like those are the things we think about free. The circus one, I always forget to mention. But every hour throughout the weekend, all the way through tonight, there's a new show. And the best part is, I think every hour it's a different act. And what's better than a circus is the fact that you can sit up really, really close. Like to the point where like I'm sitting almost like barely able to touch the guy who was basically trying to do a handstand on knives, on top of knives. And if he slipped, he would die. And I feel like I could just poke him a little to tickle him. Like that's how close you could get. Like that's, you know what I'm saying? It's a great show for that reason. Totally worth it. Totally free. Not just for kids, it's for adults too. Like I had a great time.
Oh yeah, me too. It was fascinating.
So cool, yeah. So there you go, our adventures in exploring Vegas. Another one check marked off the list, and on to the next casino resort.